Welcome back to the Midweek Update.
Hey Mappum, welcome to this week's Midweek Update.
Today, let's take a look at some of the very special projects our fellow students have made for the Student Television Network Fall Challenge.
Student Television Network is an international association of high schools and middle schools that get the opportunity to submit work and get critiques.
Sammy and I got to participate, and I can't wait to hear our feedback.
This and more as we take a look at what's going on this week on Midweek Update. I'm Sammi Rooney.
And I'm Maya Stone, and welcome back to Midweek Update, the B&B show that brings you closer to the people and places in and around the Mepham community.
Well, Maya, B&B has been very busy this past week.
Definitely. Us, along with other B&B students, made different projects based on unique and broad prompts.
I can't wait to see all the finished projects since I was able to see some of the hard work and hours spent on these accomplishments.
Me too. So let's get started. B&B's Emily Yucht showed us how schools are lacking in staff members due to the pandemic by using the prompt of labor shortages.
Staff shortages as a result of the pandemic have affected every area of business and society. One area that was hit especially hard was schools. According to the New York State Education Department, during the 2019 to 2020 school year, there were 7,249 counselors, 205,510 teachers, 3,374 social workers, and 4,782 principals employed in and by the state. The New York State Union of Teachers expects these numbers to drop drastically as a result of an increased retirement rate and a decrease of people entering the teacher field. Staff members at McKenna Elementary School in Massapequa, Long Island, have been impacted by this downward trend.
Staff is almost impossible to find at this time. There was a bubble where we didn't have staff that was going into the field of education. So now we're hitting that little bubble mark where we're not finding qualified candidates who can come in and actually work.
The lack of staff members is in no way a surface level problem. The effects of the labor shortage in clerical and substitute staff particularly hinder the workflow at McKenna Elementary.
It's been really tough. I think that we're also coming to a point where not as many people are interested to get into education anymore because it's kind of a scary field in some ways. But it's been difficult. We're still having a hard time just getting subs for our buildings.
Decreasing every year. It just gets worse and worse every year. Less and less subs. And I have found that going digitally through the ASAP frontline.
Schools across the state have been struggling heavily in the clerical department. At Merrick Avenue Middle School, this has been a hefty burden.
I would say the most challenging position to fill have been our clerical positions. There are no shortage of certified teachers who are applying to positions that we've posted for classroom spots or leave replacements. However, the clerical positions that rely on a civil service exam have been very challenging to fill because the civil service exam has not been given in the last 2 years.
Faced with challenge after challenge, the staff members at these schools have continued to push forward and work through these labor shortages.
We plot out everyone's periods in a grid and we try and spread our 3 subs that we have left to cover as much of those periods as we possibly can. And then we turn to individual teachers to cover individual periods.
When we were first started going through it, it was a bit of chaos because it was so very new to us. But it's become quite routine. The teachers have adapted to it, the building's adapted to it.
I do always worry about who's going to take care of them, because I concern myself who's in my class and who's going to be here, and are they prepared to teach the curriculum that I have. And I also don't want to upset other classroom settings if a teacher has to be pulled from doing another duty in the building to cover my class.
From B&B, I'm Emily Yucht.
Thanks, Emily. That was such a creative way to show the labor shortages, and it was very well put together.
I completely agree, Sammy. It was nice to see that other schools on Long Island are also dealing with these challenges outside the BMCHSD community.
Anyway, this week we are taking a short break from our normal Morgan Being Morgan segment.
But don't worry, you still get a taste of Morgan through her team's STN submission. This short story shows how the mind can often forget what we don't want to remember, with the prompt, "If only you knew."
It's Morgan being Morgan.
Hey, your favorite song's on. Do you remember any of it? Oh, it's okay, hon. Don't worry. Maybe it's best if you don't remember anyway. What? Don't worry about it, Harley.
Did you ever really miss me? Kiss me, I wonder if your heart was ever there. Did you ever dream about me? Did you ever really cry? Did you ever really love me? Or did you really tell a
What did I do to her? I told you, it's best if you didn't remember. I wish I had that option.
What did I do to her?
Trust me, Harley. If you knew, you wouldn't want to know.
What does that mean?
Harley, just look at yourself. You're a mess. Do you really want to know what caused that?
Did you ever really cry? Did you ever really love me? Or did you tell a lie?
Wow, if only I knew what I was about to watch. I loved that flashback.
Me too. I really wasn't expecting that turn of events.
Now, let's get back to Mepham a little bit more. So, let's throw it over to Connor Ward with your latest in Mepham sports.
Thanks, Sammy. We have an exciting rest of the week coming up. Last night, the girls volleyball team took on Bethpage away in a thrilling matchup. Today, the boys volleyball team took on Hewlett away as they look to improve their record to 10-1 and continue their great season. Also, tomorrow, the cross-country team have their championship level meet in Bethpage as they take on the Bethpage Golden Eagles. Make sure to tune in to the morning announcements where Matt Manno will have your weekend in Mepham sports. That's all from me. From B&B, I'm Connor Ward. Now back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Connor. For some more sports content, B&B's Matt Manno shows us the life of Mepham varsity football player Dom Novello with the prompt of Mind, Body, Sport.
Hard work will always be talent when talent fails to work hard. That's very important in my life because there may be many other kids more talented than you, but I feel if you work hard, you will become better than them.
There's something to be said about doing everything in your power to become the best you can be in any given area of life. What's even more impressive is becoming the best that you can be in multiple aspects of life. Mepham Jr. Dominic Novello has done everything in his power to become the best he can be both in the classroom and on the football field, and the results are exceptional.
When I was younger, my no-no actually told me that when he was 15, he had the opportunity to go pro in soccer, and he couldn't go with that opportunity because he didn't have a dad at the time. So he had younger siblings and his mom, and he had to work 3 jobs at the time, and he told me that, and it really stuck to me. And now I feel I gotta work as hard as I can because other people stepped out of their way to do something else to improve their family.
Dom and senior teammate Gabe Terra bonded over their mutual love of football. Gabe saw something special in Dom.
I met Dom actually a while back. We actually went to the same elementary school together. He's always loved football. I know that. His family's very, football oriented. He's always been a hard worker. I even remember being in 6th grade, him being in 5th grade, him, beating everybody in two-hand touch football during lunch, after school. He was really a big player growing up, too.
Mepham defensive coordinator and teacher Matthew Moody knows the importance of commitment, both on and off the field.
As a teacher and a coach, it's one of the things that we strive for in our student athletes, a person who's committed both on and off the field. And Dom is one of the types of kids that's easy to build a culture around. Works very hard every day in practice, expects the best, and the same in the classroom. Puts the time in to ensure that he gets good grades because he knows that there's more out there than just athletics.
With athletes, you don't know what you're going to get in the classroom. Novello, day in and day out, shows effort in the classroom and brings much needed energy to a school day.
It's pretty amazing. I wish I got a chance to be his coach on the field because I see him in the classroom, and the intensity that he brings to the class, the excitement and energy. I could just imagine what he's like on the football field.
Dom Novello brings a positive attitude to everything he does in life, and with that brings positive results. For BMB, I'm Matt Manno.
Thanks, Matt. Another amazing sports package, along with the rest of our submissions.
Absolutely. Hopefully this can prove how if you believe you can have multiple strengths.
I love that each group chose to tell their story all in so many different and interesting ways.
Yes, and congratulations on completing such a big take in such a small time frame.
I couldn't agree more.
Well, that's it for this week's episode of Midweek Update. We'll be back next week with all new stories from around the BMCHSD to bring you inside the parts of the community we don't always get to see.
Until then, I'm Sammi Rooney.
And I'm Maya Stone, and we'll see you all next midweek.